Okay, now in this video, let's have some fun. In a recent picking video, I found some vintage slides this summer when I was out picking. Most of those slides were 50s and 60s, and most of them had the location written on them. And there were some other slides from the 70s that had no indication of where this was taken, and it was a 4th of July parade, and I had no clue whatsoever where this location was. So let's look at those slides, and I'll eventually show you how I worked through the clues and found this location. All right, now in this picture, we have the high school students with SWJHS on the shirts. Now in this slide, you can see over there on the side, the banner the officer is holding has Newton County. Now on this slide, we have some more teenagers with SHS. Okay, there's another clue that I wrote down. Here's some other slides. Some of these don't have any wording on the banners. Okay, now this one had a really good clue in it. Has the banner Elm Springs Riding Club. And there was only one Elm Springs I could find, and that was in Arkansas. So that was a really good clue. Okay, now this slide was very critical. This gentleman here on the horseback is carrying a banner, and I finally traced that down to the Arkansas state flag. Then there was another banner here. I couldn't read it. It was illegible. Now on this slide, there's no real definitive clues, just another good shot of the church. Now on this slide, we have some names on the side of this buggy. They're state representatives, but I could not make out the name. And now we have a full view of the church. And as you see, Church of the Nazarene. Now this picture was taken at a different angle. On the left-hand side, you can see the brick of the church, and it's looking down a side street. And if you read the vest the man is wearing, it says Ozarks on the bottom. Something of the Ozarks. So I knew I was in Arkansas, Missouri, somewhere in that Ozark area. And there's a building off to the right here. I couldn't quite make out what this building was. Now on this slide, you can clearly see on these flags Ozarks. Some of the other wording I can't read, but you can clearly see the O of Ozarks. Now this is a really good shot down the street. It's a long straight street with businesses on it. And if we look off to the left, you'll see a marquee on one of the buildings, and it says Apollo on the front. You can't see the A or the P, but it says OLLO, so it's clearly Apollo. And then in the foreground here, just behind this person in the orange suit, there's a gas station sign. We'll see that in another slide. So there's a gas station right there. Alright, in this slide, we have another banner. It says Rural Riding Club. You can clearly see that. Okay, in this one we have a sheriff with the American flag. These businesses, they're off in the distance here. Could not make out the name except one that says Deluxe. And if we zoom in right there, you can see right in the middle of the screen, you see 55 regular 55 cents. So there's a gas station right there. Okay, starting off we have it at SHS, which is some sort of a high school, and the SWJHS, which I assumed was Southwest Junior High School. And then you had the Elm Springs Apollo Theater. We had the Ozarks, a sign that said Deluxe. And in the distance I could see what looked like a Route 64 sign. No, I found Route 64 in Arkansas, but that did not pan out. Newton County, Rural Riders Club, that didn't provide any information. And of course the Arkansas state flag. And these were the main clues I had to work with. Now there's one other clue that I always look for when I'm searching on Google Earth for some sort of location, is the sun angle. And in this case, I could see the sun angle was pointing up the street, away from the camera location. And started looking on Google Earth, focusing on that Ozarks area. Eventually looked through every town in Arkansas, even up into Missouri. Particularly focusing on that church. That was the best clue that I had. And I could not find anything on that church. I did some Google searches, and then was looking at every town, every church in every town, focused on the churches that showed up. And then went back and forth to other clues, and then back to the church, other clues, back to the church. And then eventually started focusing on one clue again. I looked at the clue the first time, didn't find it. Then I went back to this one particular clue, and eventually I found this location, and I'll show you how I found the location. Okay, so I went back to the Southwest Junior High School clue, and here I found it. It's near Springdale, Arkansas. Near this Springdale, Arkansas. So this finally seemed to be the most promising clue. So then I started focusing on, once again, on long straight roads with businesses on them. So I looked all through Springdale again. So again, here's churches. None of these churches panned out. And then focused on this right here. This is another school. This turned out to be the Springdale High School, which is SHS. So I knew it was probably in the right location. At least in the right area. And then eventually focused on this Emma Avenue. It's a long straight road with businesses on them. And looked at all these corners, didn't see anything, and then eventually kind of focused on this corner right here. So I flew into that corner. And looked around, didn't really see anything that looked correct. Didn't quite look right. And then all of a sudden, kind of hit me. In one of those pictures, let's look at that again. Okay, this is the picture that was taken at a different angle down a side street. And if you look off to the right here, that was that building that I couldn't identify. You can see this building off to the right here, right to this side street. It has these columns on it. And in that picture, there was a building with some columns on the side. Okay, I had to look very closely. There's those columns with the wall at the end of the colonnade. There's a wall at the end. And that matched up perfectly. So I knew it was in the right location. So that was pretty much a confirmation I was in the right spot. I finally found it after several hours of looking. And then I went down the street here. And if you look off to the right, there's this long skinny building. If you look behind the pedestrian crossing sign, you'll see that long skinny building. That's in the picture, but in here, in this picture, it's been remodeled and it looks different. And another building right here with visors over the windows. That's clearly in the old photographs. You look behind the people in the buggy, you can see that building with the awnings on the windows. And then just for further confirmation, I drove down the street here a little bit, and sure enough, there's the Apollo Theater. So that was 100% confirmation. This was the right street and location. Then I was looking at closer. Where's the gas station? And if you look closely right here, you can see the gas pumps were right here. You can see the patches in the concrete. So that was where the gas station was. And I started wondering, where's the church? And the more I looked at this, I finally realized this is the church. If you take a close look at this building, and we look back at the church. Now the old church building has this notch in the corner of the building. You can clearly see that in the bank building. Has that notch, but they filled it in and put a door and filled the wall out in the corner. The wing off to the right was torn down and made into a parking lot. And they looks like they put a wing off to this side. And I looked at the sign on the front of this building, and it's part of the bank offices. And it looks like the bank took over the whole block here. So that was really neat to see. Take one last look down the street. And if you want to find this location, it's Emma Avenue and Maple in Springdale, Arkansas.